All right, what's going on?
First one in the books. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was fun. Obviously, it was a great process. It was kind of a fun culmination of a long process over the last few months, and so it's that first opportunity for the coaching staff, for the scouting side of this thing, for all of us to team up on this process, and I felt like it's been a lot of fun.
Does it say anything about you? I know a lot of people are involved in this process, but your first draft with the team, you going with a left tackle. I mean, and what that position means and signifies.
Yeah, certainly. I love the opportunity. Again, this is a trenches game. This is a game that's won up front in a lot of ways, and obviously my background has been around that in a lot of places I've been, and certainly this place is invested in it, and we feel like we can continue to do that. And so we feel like we're building a strength in that offensive line. We got a ton of really good talent there, and we're really excited about that.
Do you ideally see him at left tackle and Bouaga back on the right side? Like the ideal vision?
We're going to give it plenty of flexibility through this whole offseason process and allow those guys to kind of go through this, give ourselves the flexibility to get the best five on the field because we feel like we have depth beyond that, and so it's going to be a great opportunity for us.
What was it that you feel?
Go ahead.
What stood out about Kevin?
Yeah, just through the whole process, he's everything you want your organization to represent. The player, the person, 3-year starter. He's just turning 21 here next month. You meet him, you quickly are gravitated to him as a person, and you put on the film, and he gets after people. He moves people in the run game. He's a great pass protector. He just does an excellent job.
Hey, Kellen. Sorry, this was my turn. Do you know which quarterback he'll be blocking for by chance? Or have an idea?
We'll let that process play itself out. Obviously, Mickey kind of addressed that on Wednesday, and so we'll go through that.
You mentioned that y'all spoke at the combine as well as pro day, but no top 30 visit and everything like that. Just kind of how early in the process did y'all identify him as maybe one of the guys that you look to go for now?
Well, certainly we felt like we had 2 touching base points there. Certainly I did. Being able to go to the pro day, being able to meet him at the combine, and so certainly we still had a couple opportunities. 30 visits sometimes come in for various reasons, and we just felt like we had a great feel for him. Felt like they had done a lot of work from a scouting department standpoint, and so we felt really comfortable with it.
Did y'all make calls tonight trying to move back into the first round at all?
No, I mean, obviously there's always discussions as you go through this process, and those discussions certainly happen, but we felt good with where we're at.
Nick, you said that you try to be faithful to the top of your board, but if you have 2 or 3 guys really close, you may go by position. Was this clear cut at the top of your board?
Yes, it was right at the top. We had a couple guys that were there that felt really, really good with, and certainly felt like the ability to increase our offensive line was just an excellent opportunity for our football team, just the identity of it and what we want to do.
What will that process look like for figuring out who fits best where? You just try guys out at different spots and kind of go like that?
Yeah. I think it's obviously now that we're at this process and, we know Kelvin will be here, we'll go through that process just to kind of give a few different looks, a few different presentations for us, and, it'll settle down as we go.
What do you think he would do at guard if that's a spot?
Certainly we feel like he's got the flexibility to play anywhere on the offensive line as far as, the tackle spots, the guard spots, and we got other guys who are flexible too. I think, we feel really good about this, got Trevor, we went and signed Dylan. We got a lot of depth in this group that allows us to have some flexibility there.
Is Trevor somebody who could slide inside? Is Trevor somebody who could slide inside?
I think all of our guys have a lot of flexibility. Certainly feel like Trevor's continuing to progress. We feel really good with where he's headed as a football player, and we're really, really excited to continue to build that process for him. And so, like a lot of these guys, I think they all have flexibility.
Where do you feel like the starting place is right now for what that 5 starts? I mean, if you were to put those 5 guys out on the field right now, are you able to say kind of where you would start?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Obviously, competition has to play out, but just Kelvin specifically, I mean, when you were evaluating him, you saw him as a left tackle first and foremost. So, I mean, is that how you judge?
We feel like he can play tackle. He can play tackle in this league. He did it at Texas for 3 years against some of the best competition in college football. That's big time production right there. And so within that, he also has the flexibility to go play a bunch of other stuff. So it was just an awesome pick.
What was it about him being put in the fire so early? Did that appeal to you guys at all?
Well, certainly when you combine the situation, he's a 3-year starter. He's really young. He's about ready to turn 21. For him to just hop in there and compete at that high of a level in, arguably some of the toughest games in college football that you're going to play, just shows the player and the person that he is.
How much did conversations at the combine and your pro day kind of impact your view of him as a player? It seems like he has a really kind of engaging personality.
Yeah, phenomenal. The combine's really fast. These 15, 20-minute interactions, but you quickly kind of get a sense of the person very quickly, and then you just kind of continue to have these different touching base points. Pro day was awesome. Certainly, our scouts have our scouts invest such a large amount of time over the course of the last few years to get to know these guys. They know these guys inside and out. They understand them as people in so many ways, and so we felt really good.
How much did having 2 former Texas assistants maybe help in the evaluation and knowing who he?
Never hurts to have 2 guys in-house that give you the thumbs up. Definitely helps you.
Was it just the cost of moving back into the first round that was prohibitive?
No. You just have conversation. We feel good. We got plenty of opportunities through this whole process. We got 3 picks tomorrow, and plenty of flexibility as we go through the next couple days.
Did you guys actually have serious considerations on the opposite, moving down from 9 at all?
Couple conversations here and there, but we felt like we had a great opportunity to get a really good player at 9, and certainly we felt the value of not missing that opportunity.
Is there a consciousness or an importance of trying to end up with as many of those 6 picks in the first 4 rounds as you can?
There's certainly value to that. Anytime you get we feel like these guys that we'll obviously start with the second round, but these 3rd round picks, these 4th round picks, these guys are going to be helping us, contribute to winning games this coming year, and so we feel like we're in a great place to utilize all these opportunities.
Kellen, is building from the trenches always been like a core philosophy for you, just as you thought about football and that throughout your life?
Yeah, I think it's just you recognize the value of that in this game. If you have issues up front, if we have challenges, not a whole lot else can be accomplished without those guys. And so we recognize the value of that. I think that's the beauty of it. This place has continued to invest in it year in, year out. The last couple places I've been, it's been the same exact case, and feel like it's contributed to a lot of the success at other places and here included.
You could have built on the trenches on the other side. Why did you guys go offensive line versus defensive line?
Yeah, certainly we just, we loved Kelvin as we went through this process. Certainly there was other opportunities, other discussion points as you go through this. These are never easy decisions because there's a lot of really good football players that have an opportunity to come to the NFL. And so, we ultimately felt like Kelvin was the best opportunity for us.
You said that you guys are really aligned when it comes to draft philosophies. And since you love building in the trenches and the Saints are habitually known for getting linemen in the first one, how easy was it to come to the conclusion to get an offensive lineman?
It ended up playing out, in a really clean, way, and so certainly we all feel very comfortable with that. It doesn't mean that we're not trying to go, find receivers, find skill guys, find back end guys on the defense. There's huge value in all these different positions, but certainly aligned this way, with Kellen.
How do you all feel about the board tomorrow? I know you just walked out of the room, but how do you feel going into tomorrow? Do you sleep at night, or are you kind of thinking of what guys, and how early do you all start talking about it tomorrow?
Awesome question. Yeah. You feel like there's still some names up there, and it's going to go for a while here, but there's some names up there you're really fired up to see if we can find a way to get those guys. And so it'll be a really exciting process. We'll go through, kind of just like we have the last couple days, we'll go through a lot of scenarios tomorrow, just playing out different opportunities that we may have. And, it'll be fun to continue to build this thing.
Do you remember any
games?
games?
Spencer Rattler and Ricky pointed out yesterday that he's been in contact with Carr, but did that cause you guys to look at your board any differently in the last week or so as some of that information emerged?
We've been building it, for the last couple months, and so we felt like the board was built the right way. We'll let the thing play itself out. We'll trust the process, and we feel like we got some good players in the building. Again, Mickey kind of addressed how Derek's situation is being played out, and so hopefully get some clarity in the coming time as everyone just goes through that process.
Do you remember any games or moments in particular that stood out to you that helped shape your opinion of him when you were going through his tape?
I think, the beauty of him going and playing 3 years at Texas, you go see him play some big-time opponents. And, there's a bunch of weeks where he's playing guys that, were drafted today and they'll be drafted tomorrow. And so when you go watch him play those games, you're seeing him play guys that are going to be playing on Sunday. And so a bunch of games come out. He's one of those guys when you play there, week in and week out, he's battling some of the best. And so it showed up consistently.
I know Mickey said yesterday that, here they never trade back because he said he trusts what the scouts do, and if you love somebody, you just go get them. Obviously, you seem to love Kelvin.
Yep.
Would you say there's like 3 or 5 guys you love, that you wish you had? I mean, how does this draft look for you from maybe the talent perspective of, I'd love to have that guy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way, we've gone through a really good process. We feel like there's great opportunities throughout this draft. There's a lot of depth. Mickey's never opposed to trading back. We have those discussions. It just doesn't happen. And so, this will be a long process over the next couple of days as we go through this. Again, as we look at what's potentially ahead tomorrow, we feel great. We feel like we're going to be able to contribute and help this team in a lot of ways with the guys that are still on that board.
How many first-round grades did you have on players?
It's a great question. I don't know the number.
Just from your previous experience with either Philly or LA or Dallas, you feel like you had fewer first round players than you typically have? Was it about the same?
It was probably close to the same. It wasn't drastic, but yeah.
Yesterday, Mickey said that you guys are always in the business of quarterbacks. Is that something you agree with, and can you foresee yourself taking another quarterback for this room?
I think every organization is always looking at that position year in and year out. Even years with that past places I've been, you study the quarterbacks each and every year because, it's just a fun position. Obviously, I've been around it my whole life, and you're continuing to evaluate those guys because you never know. You may end up working with them. Spencer, I was in Philly. We weren't drafting a guy last year, but, you got to go through the process and better understand Spencer. Jake was the previous year when he was coming out of Fresno. I was in L.A. You spent enough time, so when you came here, you really knew these guys really well, and you had gone through the evaluation process with those guys. And so I think you try and do it each and every year no matter what the circumstance is.
When you take the job, like I think you said something along the lines of like, you need Derek or the quarterback, like agreeing to it. Like, when there's not that clarity, how do you process that? Coach, now that you've been on the job for a few months.
Yeah, again, as you go through this process, there's going to be different things that, are adjustments as you go through this process. And so, obviously we feel good about Derek as far as, having the opportunity to kind of go through this process, see where it's at. Sometimes things pop up as you go through this, just like in season, guys have things that you got to kind of navigate. And so, we'll let this process play itself out.
Fans that are wondering about your depth at the quarterback position, how much did your time in Dallas and seeing what a 4th-round pick with Dak Prescott give you confidence about what you guys can still find potentially if that's 5?
Yeah, quarterbacks come from a lot of different avenues as you go through this process. Certainly, being around Jalen was a 2nd-round pick, Dak was a 4th. Justin, he was a 1st-round high pick. But there's a lot of flexibility within that. You want to create an environment that allows these guys to be successful. That's important as you go through this. And so, certainly we feel like these guys that are here, that have been a part of this thing, we feel good about that room.
Are you surprised about how the quarterback draft played out today?
No. Obviously, I think Cam's an excellent player. Everyone kind of knew how that one was going to go down, and you figured, at some point someone would pop up and take one, and we'll see how the rest of this thing goes. All right, awesome. Anything else? You guys good? Yeah. Oh yeah, one more.
With Kelvin, him being a captain at Texas, what did you notice from the leadership qualities that he had? As you try and build a culture here and all that, like is he maybe someone who can pave the way for the next generation?
Big part of this process is getting to know them as people, and you quickly recognize the value that Kelvin has. Seeing him, the representation he has at Texas, that program just loves this guy, sees him as one of the leaders of that place, and you feel like when you're bringing those type of people in this building, they're going to help elevate our organization as well. So, all right. Get a couple shots up, guys. Here we go.